All right. Today we're going to continue with operations with polynomials, but today is going to be about division. All right, so I want to do an example together using long division. Do you guys remember the last time you used long division?
No.
Maybe 5th grade, 4th grade? Maybe middle school, maybe 6th grade, 7th grade. All right, exactly. What is that? Excellent. So, long division, the first thing you want to do is you want to write your division bar. All right, do you remember which one goes underneath and which one goes on the outside? I know there were phrases that elementary school teachers used to use about like you put this one inside the barn and this one is outside the barn. I don't remember any of that stuff. Or divisor, like you use oars to row the boat so they're on the outside. You remember any of those? No? All good stuff, all good stuff. Okay, the one that comes first is called the dividend. The dividend, D-I-V-I-D-E-N-D, dividend. Of course, D-I-V-I-D-E-N-D. I'll write it down. I'm not that mean. Got it? Nice. That's going to go inside. So 3x cubed plus 4x squared. Now, if you guys look at this, before I finish writing that 10, do you notice how we go from cubed to squared to a constant? What are we skipping? Cubed, squared, and then constant. Which one am I missing? The x to the... No, x to the 0 power. X to the first power. The first power, right? There's no x to the first power. So I'm going to write plus 0x as a placeholder, okay? Plus 0x as a placeholder. You're going to see why once I do the process of why it's important to put placeholders. Plus 10. So it's going to act as a placeholder. You're going to see when we do this why we should do that, okay? Yeah, no more parentheses. Now, what comes second? Do you guys remember the word for that comes second? Now, the quotient's the answer. That's going to go right up here. The quotient's the answer. That's one of them. That's good, JD. That's not the one I want. It's the divisor. This is how it's spelled. I'm not going to test you on vocab, but when you were in elementary school, I guarantee you your teacher talked about those words. Okay? All right, everybody okay with the setup for long division? So the dividend and the divisor. Now, it's been a long time since you've done this, so I'm going to walk through this slowly. The first thing you want to do is you want to look at the first term in your divisor. It says x, just the first term, x. All right, what's the first term in the dividend? 3x cubed, the whole thing, just that term right there, 3x cubed and x. So ask yourself, all right, I'm asking you to ask yourself, what can I multiply times x to get 3x cubed? 3x squared. So I'm going to show you again. 3 times 1 is 3. X squared times x is x cubed. I see a lot of confused faces, so please ask. So in my brain, I want to know something here, Christine, times x will give me that. So 3 times 1 makes 3. X squared times x makes x cubed. Remember, you add the exponents. 2 plus 1 makes 3. Right, there's a 1 here. We'll get there. Still confused? I don't know what else to say besides this times x gives me that.
No, I was just saying, like, how are you getting 3x to, like, there's no exponent on the...
You're right, it's to the first power. So x to the first power times x to the second power is x to the third power. Because remember, you add these together.
Oh, that's just to check your answer.
Yeah. You got it. Yes. That's all I'm doing. I'm multiplying something times this term to give me the first term in my dividend. Always. Okay? Guys, if you're confused, don't be mad at me. Don't be mad. Right? Be mad at your 5th grade teacher. No? I thought that was funny. How many times does 3 go into 1? 0 times. How many times does 3 go into 10? Right, so that's all we just did. It's just got variables, so it makes it, tougher. Okay, Matthew, you asked the right question. We're not actually done because we need to multiply 3x squared also times negative 2. What's 3x squared times negative 2? Negative 6x squared. All right, now, it's process. It's been a while, but you're going to do subtraction. Subtraction. And I did this on purpose. What is 3x cubed minus 3x cubed? It's nothing, right? It's gone. That's the whole point of this. If you get something right there in this first column, you've done something wrong. Okay? What is 4x squared minus negative 6x squared? No. 10x squared. 4 minus negative 6 is really 4 plus 6. How we doing? Not great. Okay, let's continue. All right, I'm going to bring down the stuff that's over here. This stuff I haven't touched yet. I'm just going to bring it down. So I'm going to write plus 0x plus 10. And I repeat the process. Repeat the process. All right, so just like I did before, let's see, Logan and Christine, if you got this one on this time. I have x. What times x gives me 10x squared? 10x to the first power. Very good. Right? 10 times 1 is 10. X times x is x squared. 4 minus negative 6 is 10. 4 minus negative 6 is 10. All right. Yes?
How do you get negative 6x squared?
This, I multiplied 3x squared times negative 2 to get negative 6x squared. All right, so now I'm going to do the same process, but 10x times these two. What's 10x times x? 10x squared. What is 10x times negative 2? Negative 20x. Now do you see why I put that placeholder? Hopefully some of you do. I put the placeholder so that way I have a column to put my x to the first power. All right? Going to subtract again. What's 10x squared minus 10x squared? Nothing. 10x squared minus 10x squared is nothing. That's not a coincidence, guys. It should be like that every time. Every single time. Okay? All right. What's 0 minus negative 20? So the same idea as last time. Minus and negative is really just addition. So this is 20x. What do I need to bring down? The 10. All right. Almost done. We're almost there. Almost there. All right. Repeat it again. Something times x that gives me 20x. Well, if I put an x, it's going to be x times x, give me x squared. I don't want x squared. So just 20. Very good, Logan. Just 20. All right. 20 times x is 20x. What's 20 times negative 2? 20 times negative 2. Negative 40. All right. So I'm going to subtract. The 20x's make 0. What is 10 minus negative 40? So again, this is the same thing that keeps happening. Subtracting a negative is really addition. So it's 50. Very good. Do you guys remember what 50 is called? Because I have nothing else to do, and I have a 50 that's left over. The remainder! Sorry, the remainder. Very nice. All right, now here's the last step, and then you'll be done. The remainder, you're going to write plus 50 divided by my divisor. What was my divisor? Very good. X minus 2. And you are done. Man, that felt good. That felt so good. Do you guys want to do that again? No. Be honest. No, great. We don't ever have to do that again. Let's not do it again. Let me teach you a different way. That's much faster. and much easier. I know, right? Because I want you to hate me and to hate long division so much that you want to do something that's called synthetic division.
So we did that. I'm over here sitting about to cry.
I got tissues. They're right behind Crystal. Don't stress, right? Don't stress. Relax. Relax. Okay. So let's teach you how to do this in a much simpler way. Okay? Now, I'm going to be honest. The process is going to take a little bit of teaching and learning, but once you get the hang of it, it's going to go much faster. Okay? So I have a couple of slides here. I have this slide, and I have this slide. And if you look at it, you can get overwhelmed. Right? Obviously, I see some of your faces right now. It's overwhelming. Right? But that's why I'm here. Right? That's why I'm here. So I'm not going to ask you to read this, but I am going to ask you to read it on your own time. You should be reading these slides on your own. Okay? All right. So let's talk about how we can do this with an example that looks somewhat similar to the one we just did, but instead of using long division, we're going to use synthetic. Do you guys know what the word synthetic means? It means fake, right? Now we're still going to, don't call me fake, right? We're still going to do long division. We don't say fake anymore? 2017, we don't say fake? You're so fake. No? No? No love? Okay. Whatevs. Do we still say whatevs anymore? We still say whatevs. We're good. Yeah, we're good. We're good. I'm so hip. Here we go. First thing you want to check. First thing you want to check. First thing you want to check. Is this in the form of x minus a? Is that in the form x minus a? A lot of students tell me no. Right? And you're right. It doesn't say, bless you, it does not say subtraction. But I'm not worried about that as long as it says x to the first power. Does it say x to the first power? Yeah. It does. So my a, this is the tricky part, my a is not going to be 2. My a is going to be -2. So put that in the corner. We're going to put -2 in the corner. All right? Again, if you're confused, where the heck did I get that -2? I looked, it said +2, and I thought opposite. What's the opposite of +2? -2. All right.
And that's always?
Always. So what if this slogan would have said x minus 2? What would go here? Nope, if it said x minus 2, what would it go here? +2. All right, always. Just think opposite there. All right, now I need the coefficients from my dividend. What's the first coefficient you see? 3. What's the next one you see?
1.
But there's a negative sign, so I'm going to write -1. What's the next one you see?
5.
But I'm not going to write 5 next. See if anyone can catch it. Why am I not going to write 5 next? I skipped from 4, 3, first power to nothing. Which one did I skip? To the second power. So what am I going to put after this -1? 0. There's no x to the second power. We're missing a term. So just like I did in long division, I'm going to put a placeholder, that's 0. Then I'll put 5 and finish with, make sure you bring the sign -1. All right? And draw a line right here. Yeah, Logan.
When the x doesn't have a coefficient, you put the 0 as the first.
I'm going to rephrase what you said. When you are missing one in your order, you'll put 0. Right? X doesn't have a coefficient here, or x doesn't have a power, so that's why it was 5. But we skipped x squared. If you skip 1, put a 0. Skip 2, put 2 zeros. Okay? Okay. I want you to put your pen or pencils down so you can just watch this first step. Okay? Here we go. First thing you do is you bring down the 3. Just going to bring it down. I'm going to write 3. What is 3 times -2? -6. Watch where I write it. I write it in the next column. -1 plus, don't you know the pencils, no pencils? Negative 1 plus negative 6. Negative 7. Okay, pick up your pen or pencil. Write that.
Wait, how'd you get down to -6?
Multiply. Multiply.
That number always
Always, yes. The first number, whether this is a 7, a negative 8, whatever it is, always comes down. Always. Okay, have we caught up with me? Okay, sorry. Divided. No. Add. Negative 1 plus negative 6 is negative 7. It's always going to be addition straight down. We're going to repeat the process. I'm just waiting for everyone to be ready. Okay, excellent. So I'm going to repeat the process. Negative 7 times negative 2. Negative 14, very good. What am I going to do with 0 and 14? I'm going to add to get 14. 14 times negative 2. Negative 28. What about 5 and negative 28? Negative 23, very nice. And then negative 23 times negative 2. 46. All right? And always that last number, put it in its own little box. Okay? What's negative 1 plus 46? 45. You bring the 3 down, but then the same after you do that, everything is literally the same. You just repeat the process. Okay, guys, with enough practice, you'll be fine. So I know some of you are still stressed. With enough practice today, you'll get this process. But this is not the answer. The answer needs to look like a polynomial. So here's how you write the answer. What did my dividend start out as? 3x to what power? The 4th power. So you always go 1 less. What's 1 less than to the 4th power? 3rd. So I'm going to write 3x to the 3rd power minus 7x squared. Hopefully you see where I'm getting these numbers. Plus 14x minus 23. How am I getting the coefficients? How am I getting the exponents? You start 1 less, so it was 4, right? Now we're starting at 3, and then I just go in order. And then what am I going to do with that 45? So it's the remainder. Nice job. So plus 45 over. Nice job. And that is synthetic division. You will be expected to know how to do this. Okay? It's not even near as long. Not even near as long. Yes? So whatever you have, again, this is the hardest part for students. I started with x to the 4th power. So when I write my answer, as JD said earlier, the quotient, when you write your quotient, the answer, you go 1 less than what you started there. So 1 less to the 4th power is to the 3rd power. And then you just go in order. So this is the coefficient for the x to the 3rd power. Here's the coefficient for x to the 2nd power, x to the 1st power, constant, remainder, every time. All right, so what if I would have started to the 5th power? What would this be down here to begin? The 4th power, always 1 less, always 1 less.